Senator King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen. This hearing must feel bizarre to you guys. It's one of the most strange hearings I've ever been in, where a portion of the United States government is talking about essentially going out of business because of decisions made somewhere else in the government. Senator McCain talked about it being Orwellian. I would say it's more Alice in Wonderland. It's a very strange situation. And Mr. Carter, I'm so glad you used the word dumb, because that was the word that was in my notes, so you've given me license to use it. This whole thing is dumb. It's an arbitrary date. It means nothing. March 1st has nothing to do with what's going on in the economy or the credit of the United States or anything else. It's a totally self-imposed deadline, the impacts will be drastic. In my small state of Maine, 7,000 jobs is the calculation. George Mason University has just done a study of what the impacts of this will be state by state, and I commend it to my colleagues. They estimate 7,000 jobs in Maine, 4,000 in the defense sector, places like Bath Iron Works, Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. It's a disaster, and it's a self-imposed disaster that we don't have to do. It's also hitting the wrong targets. Your budget as a percentage of GDP is relatively stable and in fact has been declining. Non-defense discretionary spending as a percentage of GDP is at the lowest level it's been in 50 years. The growth in our budget over time and the deficit problem relates mostly to health care. And the sequester has nothing to do with that whatsoever, and we've got to be having that discussion. It's also terrible timing because it's hitting at a time of a fragile economy. I don't know if it can push us back into recession, but it certainly won't help with these thousands of layoffs and furloughs around the country. It's certainly going to kill the confidence of the economy in this institution of the United States government, that we can make decisions on a timely basis and respond to these problems intelligently and not with a blunt instrument. And I believe, as some of you have testified today, it will increase long-term costs. In the Navy, for example, by getting rid of multi-year procurements, it's going to add the ships which we ultimately need are going to cost more. And deferred maintenance is not savings. It has to be done eventually. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So I would, again, associate my comments with those of Senator McCain. I think there's one person that can help us resolve this, and that's the President of the United States. I think he has to precipitate a solution. If I were him, and believe me, there's no chance that's ever going to happen, but if I were him, I'd have the helicopter running on the lawn of the Capitol this evening, take the leadership of the Congress and the leadership of this committee to Camp David and say, you've got 3 or 4 days, guys, nobody leaves, men and women, until we get this thing solved. And I hope he takes the initiative, because right now we are slouching toward a catastrophe for this country, both in terms of its economy, in terms of its military readiness. And I thank you for what you've done today, and hopefully the message that you've given us will have some impact throughout the Congress and at the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, because we can solve this. It's ridiculous to be at this stage at this time, given the seriousness of the danger. Thank you very much.